Oh, nice. That's great. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's I think the beauty of the community. There's a lot of people from different backgrounds. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of a lot of times I tell when people join, hey, like I think the more you share your expertise, whatever industry you're in, I think the more people will find ways to utilize, these AI tools from a different perspective. So I always encourage people to share as much as they can about their background or whatever they're doing right now with these different AI tools to implement it on whether it's on their work life or personal life or whatever their future goals is. So yeah, definitely great to have you and looking forward to learning more about your background and what you're planning to do with NAN in particular.
Yeah, I just discovered N8N. I think it's great. It's a great tool. I love how you explain it. You give very good explanations, very detailed. And also, I like the platform you set up on school, a lot of sharing of knowledge. So I hope I can contribute somehow as well with some of my skills.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think with your background, I'm sure you can definitely contribute a lot. So looking forward to it. Hey,
Great.
Luciano, can you?
Hello,
Hey,
Super. Can you hear me?
yep, yeah, I know you tried it. I just wanted to make sure that you could hear us because I know you tried to join a couple of times. It didn't go through, but it looks like it's good. All right, perfect. Yeah, so Marie and I were just kind of chatting. I was just mentioning earlier that these onboarding calls are just for us to specifically for me to get to know you guys as you join in and gets me a good understanding. And sometimes I post those polls. I recently posted that poll just so I can understand who's joining for what purpose, and that helps me and others who are part of the community to provide better content to help you guys, whether you're just getting started or learning the tool or joining for a particular purpose. That's always good for me to know and understand that to make sure that I am providing as much value as possible for you guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So give us a little intro about yourself, Luciano, where you from, where you located, what are you working on, what's your background, and all that good stuff.
Located in Canada, engineer, hardware mostly. Been doing this since '98, so that's pretty old. I wanted to say I love your YouTube videos. Just to reiterate what was said before, you articulate it so well. I've seen other people try to like talk about NAN and they do an okay job. And when I saw your videos, I said, I definitely need to join this school. And
Excellent.
so thank you so much for your videos. It is honestly life changing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great to hear, man. I appreciate the kind
Yeah.
words. So I always try to, even from the beginning, the reason why I kind of started the shift towards the channel and specifically towards the AI space is just because from my perspective, I was looking at people, they just either they weren't explaining things properly or
Mhm.
they just weren't giving enough details. And I said, well, if somebody's new, right, regardless of what background they're in, because let's face it, everybody's new to AI. So I was like, I need to make sure that I explain things so somebody who has no background in AI, they have no clue how the tools work. They need to be able to understand the content and actually get some value out of it. So I'm very glad that actually that resonates, and I'm definitely looking forward to providing more value to you guys. Right now, I'm working in a really cool a few videos that I'm going to be releasing, which is going to be about uncensored large language models and how to utilize that and how to use that with N8N to create like whatever you want to create. Because I'm a huge fan of large language models that are uncensored because there's a big use case for that industry. Like in every industry, there's a use case for uncensored.
Agree.
Sometimes, like, I'm trying to do deep research with like ChatGPT or these other large language models, and I hit a wall because they're so biased, and it becomes annoying. So that's why like I'm gonna try to focus to build some content around that specifically with N8N for you guys because N8N is a great tool that could get connected to different models, and you can add tools to it. So that's the beauty of it. And now, that now I talk to the N8N team regularly. they understand the future of where this agentic AI is going, and that's why I said that, N8N is definitely the future. And like you could see right now how popular it is just on or it has gotten just because of the fact that people have been exposed to it and they realize that, hey, especially if you've used like make.com or Zapier, because I've used that before, and that's also very limited. And the fact that N8N has this self-hosting capability that makes it a huge asset. So definitely lots more to come for you guys. So I'm glad that you guys are all part of
Chan,
it. Yep.
Chanti.
Yep. Hey, Julio. Yep, we can.
Hey, hi, how are you?
Good, good, thanks. We're just yeah, so this is just I was just mentioning to Luciano and Maria that this is just onboarding call to get to know you guys. Want to hear a little bit about your background, where you're from, what you're working on, just so it helps me better navigate or provide more content and value for you guys and the direction of the community. So yeah, go ahead. You do Luciano and Maria want to
No,
introduce themselves. Julio, you go ahead and then More K Moore. I think I can't see your first name. Sorry, it just says K Moore. So-
It's Carl, but yeah.
Carl. All right, great. Yeah. Julio, go ahead and then Carl, go ahead after you.
no, I'm sorry, I was interrupting you because I was trying to get the microphone. Well, okay, actually, thank you for giving me the chance to introduce myself. Yes, I started with, well, I'm kind of an entrepreneur. I have my own business. I work with immigration staff in the United States. As a paralegal, I give support to some attorneys sometimes in different ways. And I have my own office. So I started with, learning with the artificial intelligence since July and learning different things. And in courses that I was taking, I just took a class of NAN. They took it, but the main emphasis was in making in other automations. So I didn't pay too much attention. But little by little, I was learning that NAN was so powerful. I heard about someone in Spain using it for giving support to a company with more than I don't know. It was huge. He said something like 100,000, calls or a bot that was taking care of a lot of people. So I say, wow, this is powerful. And then little by little, I learned that this tool has, a lot of capabilities. And then I got curious about it, and I'm just starting with NAN and learning. I'm very excited with the course. I'm I'm just starting to be honest with you, but I'm very happy, very surprised with what we can achieve with this tool. And well, I really hope to take advantage, of all this new technology and to automate my office,
Mhm.
my business, and to provide support to other people as well. So yeah, and I'm excited about everything you
That's
have in the classroom, especially when I saw the video about Jarvis. I say, oh my goodness, what is this? Yeah, it's
awesome.
amazing, really, really,
Yep,
really happy
yep.
to be here,
That's awesome.
honestly.
Yep. No, yeah, there's a lot more coming, believe me. I'm working on some cool stuff. Do you guys know David Goggins?
No,
Okay.
what is that?
David
Uh,
Goggins
uh,
is like this really hardcore like motivation speaker. He's famous. He's like very famous. He's like, always with Joe Rogan and in his podcast. So he's one of these like wild characters. He's a Navy SEAL guy, like very tough.
ah, yeah,
So
I think I have seen him. I just didn't remember his name. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
he's
think I seen him.
bald, like very like hardcore,
Uh-huh,
like he
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
speaks
yeah.
very bluntly. So I'm actually working on like a second version of not Jarvis itself, but kind of
Oh,
like him with an uncensored model. I was just telling Maria and Luciano earlier
yes.
how I'm like testing out uncensored models. So I'm trying to like, put that together. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I was just like laughing earlier because I was testing some of the stuff and the way it turned out, it was really he was almost surprised. I was like, this is so much fun.
Great.
Sometimes like I remember somebody asked me like, well, why'd you create like Jarvis? It's not really that useful for like business perspective. I was like, hey, you gotta have some fun too. You know what I mean? Like otherwise, it's just not gonna be. You can't. Not everything has to be fully practical.
Exactly.
You gotta
Exactly.
enjoy it a little bit. So, but again, obviously, the whole point of that was to show people that hey, here's how you can connect a cloned voice, right? Whether
Mhm.
that's your own, like for example, let's say we have a business or whatever it may be, you can actually attach your own voice to respond, you know, on top of these tools that are attached to it. So I was just trying to showcase that. But yeah, that's definitely been like the most popular video and the most requested template. So, and I'm seeing a lot of people actually from the community. So what I'm doing is right now I'm updating the classroom. I'm going to change a few things because a lot of the community members, like you guys have built some really cool things like there's a lot of different versions of Jarvis that people built within the community. So I'm going to share that with everybody. I'm just working on
Oh,
organizing everything so that way you guys can see
nice.
how many different use cases of, you know, because I always am like, my job is to inspire people to build things, right? So, and I think I want to make sure that I share that with everybody. And then I'll give a shout out to my YouTube channel of the amazing projects that our community is building. So lots of great more things to come. But yeah, thanks, Julia. I appreciate it, Julio, on
Yes,
the
thank you.
production and looking forward. And I always encourage people, hey, the best way to gain as much value as possible from this community is to always be active, try to help each other out, even if it's just, you know, saying welcome to somebody who joined in, right? Like, I think that's the best way to be part of these communities, to be engaged. And so I always encourage all of you guys to please make sure you get engaged as much as possible, even if it's like helping somebody out with a question or an answer. Like I said, even saying hi to somebody, you know, there's lots of great things that'll come out of that. So I appreciate all you guys. Carl, go ahead.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. My name is Carl Moore. Um, from Tampa, Florida. Well, live in Tampa, Florida. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. Um, 26 years in the IT field. Had every position from a help desk guy to network to IT director. Now I'm a project manager um, for the space and defense. So the last year with with all the automation, I've done automation from from different startup companies I worked with, and we did automation. Then seeing this was like, okay, I saw your video probably about 3 or 4 months ago and watched you, and it was another guy I was watching as well. And when I saw that NAN the other day where you did the Jarvis, it's like snap, I got to do that. It's just not just, for the business aspect, but for yourself, trying to keep up with things and tracking things. So it's like, me being an IT guy and a tinkerer and 3D, it's like what stuff that I can do, not just around the house, but just in daily life, because
Yeah.
people need stuff like that, especially when you got so much going on.
Mhm.
So it was like, you know what? I talked to my wife and I kept it was bothering me that I need to build this. So it was like, let me join. And then the day I saw where I joined, it was like, oh, we're, intro. I'm like, okay, let me jump on. So
Awesome.
introduce myself. So yeah, thank
No,
you.
that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. No, glad you're here. Yeah, there's definitely, you know, as you guys build these things out and as you have your own variations, like somebody else, I believe his name's Matthew. He was geeking out on Jarvis and he built his own version and he added like Google Tasks to it where
Yeah,
he handles all of his like calendar, all of his tasks. He has attached it to Jarvis and it sends them to his Telegram. So it's actually, he said that he uses it every day now for his own personal, basically like his personal assistant. So,
yeah.
so always good to see those things that people are making actually a good use out of this on their daily life. So that's great.
Super. Hey, Smith Channel, can I ask you a quick question?
Absolutely.
On the AI workshop, the leaderboards, how does one increase levels? I'm new to the whole school thing, so how do you increase levels?
Participation. So every like that you get for a post, or every time you respond to somebody or you answer somebody's questions, and somebody like likes that or responds back to you, that's 1 point. And as your points increase, that's how you would move up to the leaderboards.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Appreciate
Yep.
it.
So it's all through participation. And then, like I said, if you guys, the fastest way is to like, build something useful and share it with the community, right? Because then a lot of people will comment on that, they would like that, and each comment, each like for that post, if it's a useful post, will kind of give you that ranking that you would move up higher.
Yes, no, it looks really good. I noticed there's a couple leaderboards in the 30-day, 7-day, all time,
Yep.
very similar, so they're very active.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of people that are active, and like I said, the more people join, obviously, like I said, I always encourage people to stay active. And I made that announcement earlier yesterday that Alex Kim, who is one of my business partners for my AI agency, so I work with him regularly. So now he's gonna have weekly calls, and as I see people like improve their skills because I know a lot of people are also looking to like, either get clients as a side project for themselves or have their own agency. So that's something also in the future as I observe and I see, hey, some of you guys are actually building amazing things, then I don't have a lot of time to even work for client projects. So a lot of times I like to like delegate that for people who are in the school community. I'm like, hey, I've noticed you've been building great things. You're now up in the leaderboards. Do you want to work on this project? I charge like $4,000 for this client. If you build it, you get to keep half. You know what I mean? So that's just how kind of the whole concept of the participation is for that too, for me to
Nice.
evaluate and provide more value because I could care less about the $50. That's not that big of a deal. It's just but to bring
Yeah,
everybody together because there's a lot
yeah,
more opportunities to be had in the future. So the whole point of this community is to just bring people from different backgrounds so that way in the future people could collaborate and I could collaborate with you guys on building something that could benefit everybody. So
How
yeah. No,
is
that
the
sounds
agency,
great.
how is the agency side going? With it being new and especially with NAN, how long is it? It's only been out for what, a year and a half or so? Is that right? Or a little bit longer?
so it's been around for a while. I mean, now it's kind of picking up a lot, but it's actually with agency, it's great. I mean, like I said, I don't have that much time to work with too many clients. I work on a few projects a month just because, like I said, my main focus is the community. But my business partner can't like he's pretty busy. He's pretty swamped. And then a few other people that I work with that I delegate projects to, like they stay pretty busy. I mean, a lot of people make a living out of this. So
Mhm.
and that's why I'm kind of creating that class, like the business
Mhm.
strategy class that I designed because I want to give everybody the blueprint that, hey, here's how you talk to a client, right? Here's how you run an introductory call because a lot of people are new
Right.
to this world. And I mostly focus on small to medium sized businesses because there's a lot of inefficiencies in the small to medium sized businesses that could be improved with, vector databases, with building these RAG AI agents. Like, so there's a lot of things that could be improved. Um, in different aspects of the small and the medium-sized businesses. And the great thing is it's with them, it's more of like a retainer model, meaning
Okay.
you build an AI agent for them as a one-time charge, like $3,000, 4,000, let's say, depending on how complex the agent is, of course. And
Mhm.
then you say, hey, you know what? In order for me to maintain everything, it's going to be like $1,000 a month retainer fee for me to make sure that everything is being updated, everything is running smoothly, all the API costs, and then obviously regular updates. Because a lot of times when they start with one, especially if they're like a decent medium-sized company, they actually end up, having you build more and more,
Okay.
just because they realize the power of these AI agents, specifically with N8N because of how much customization you could do.
Okay. Now, are you doing complex, not really complex, but are you using like AWS and Google works in different environments and stuff like that too?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So right now we had Alex and I had a um, meeting yesterday with the client who is using everything. They're using everything on top of AWS. So that was one of their main requests is like, hey, we want to keep our cloud service. We don't want to change things. But the great thing is, like I said, with N8N and then also a lot of these vector databases, they actually sit on top of AWS. So you
Okay.
don't have to actually change much.
Yeah. Okay.
But mostly, yeah. So majority of businesses, that we work with, they use either AWS or Azure. Those are the two most popular ones. So.
Okay. Now, do you show that in the class, like bits and pieces? I know AWS is a whole beast, but do you show bits and pieces of that in the class, or are you
No,
pretty?
no, I haven't yet.
Okay.
Like I said, that's just because that's very like deep and
Yeah.
very technical. So, another thing is I'm trying to also balance what I put in the classroom because I don't want to overwhelm people.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm kind of sectioning into the different versions. One, there's like an introductory section for people who are completely new, because they just want to get started and they
Yeah.
just want to know how to like build like a very simple AI agent. Or a lot of people don't even know how nodes are or how these things are getting connected together, what LangChain is, right? Because a lot of the AI agents in NNN is built on top of LangChain. I mean, there are instances of LangChain. And again, LangChain is a great framework that utilizes large language models. I mean, to be honest, a lot of these applications that are they're built on top of LangChain.
Okay.
So that's a huge. I mean, there's so many aspects of this
Yeah.
that you have to learn, right? That's why I'm saying
Right.
sometimes it's very hard to like tell people because people are very impatient. They're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I want to learn all of this in 2 months." I'm like, "That's not
Yeah.
possible."
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like, there's just so much. But I mean, if you're patient, and a lot of people, I mean, the good thing is now people who are serious, especially like you guys who already have background in IT, I mean, you're aware of the complexities of the space, especially in AI.
Mhm.
It takes time. So, but honestly, you'll be surprised how much you can learn in like 3 months. Like
Yeah.
I have, like in 3 months, like my level of knowledge has gone from like introductory to complete pro on certain aspects, not everything, of course, like I
Mhm.
said, just because there's so much to learn here, but I'm still a beginner, right? Just like everybody, I always say, hey, we're all beginners. We're all just learning together as we move forward. But that's the beauty of a community is like we get to rely on each other's backgrounds because somebody might know something that I have never even run into, right? So, like you guys, for example, like Maria just mentioned how much experience she adds in this space. Like, that's why I always say I'd love for people to share more because, I am learning with you guys and I'm always open to learning from you guys because a lot of you have way more experience in this space than I do. So, I might chime in and help out here and there just because I've been doing this. I've been building agents for past like 15 months now.
Mhm.
So maybe in this space, I'm a bit more experienced just because of how much time I've spent on it the past year and a half specifically. But there's still a lot that I don't know. So.
Zubair, can I ask about the Tuesday, Thursday schedules? Like I noticed Fridays we have like something about a live build. That's quite interesting.
So the live builds are kind of once in a while, just because
Yeah.
there's nothing to build. Like those live builds I've
Yeah.
specifically done for the Mia personal assistant that I built, Jarvis, and
Nice.
then there was another one that I did as well. So as I create more stuff that is a bit more complex, then I'm
Mhm.
gonna do a live build for people to so they can see exactly step by step on how to do things. Like for example, for Jarvis, the reason why I put the live bit is because a lot of people are like, hey, we want to know step by step how to add the 11 Labs API so we can download the voice and clone a voice. And that's what I did. So a lot of times, not a lot of times, I mean, all of these calls that are recorded, they will be, you guys can access it through the call recording section of the classroom. So
Mhm.
they're all there. So that way, let's say if you're building something, you get stuck, you can just go follow that. So.
Nice. Cool.
But the calls are going to be changing. So starting next week, I'm going to change the calls because on Wednesdays and Fridays, Alex is going to run the business strategy and tech support. So you guys can jump in because I want to. He's doing it at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time because I noticed a lot of people from Europe it doesn't work for them if it's 4:30 p.m. Pacific time or in East Coast too. So and then I'm going to do the Tuesdays and Thursdays tech support call, and then I'm gonna have an onboarding call on Mondays as well. So,
That's awesome.
yep. But that's great. I'm like I said, very excited for everybody to join, and as the community grows, like I said, looking forward to everybody's contributions. Please don't be ashamed of, or don't feel that you're not providing value, even if it's just like I said, responding to somebody's request by pointing him to the right direction. And I'm always here to help you guys with whatever you need. So feel free to. post any issues that you run into in the Ask and Assist channel, because me and a few other people who are kind of part of the tech support part of the community, that's the best way for us to help you guys. So make sure that if you have any questions, post them in the right channel, which is the Ask and Assist channel.
Awesome.
Yep. And then if you guys are building projects or if you're building like workflows, put them on the collective wisdom tab in the category. So that way I can review it. Like if I see that, hey, this is very useful and it could be shared with the rest of the community, then I'll add that to the community projects of the classroom for everybody to have access to. And obviously I'll add you guys or I'll tag you to give you credit. So yeah, please keep.
How do you do that? If I want to share one of my projects, how would I share that?
Yeah, let me show you exactly where to put that. Share my screen here. All right, so you would click on write something, right? And whatever you're posting, so you post and then attach your workflows and give it a little title and then category right here. So you would select collective wisdom, this. So this will get posted. And if you see collective wisdom right here, so these are all the different projects that the community have shared. So you guys can, again, take a look at that too, because there's a lot of great things. Like, for example, Bob created this really cool Spotify workflow. And then, a lot of people put there, like, there's another one like about Slack summary that Imran built. And then, Jason built this updated version of Jarvis. Matthew,
Nice.
the one that I was talking about earlier. So you just attach screenshots. A lot of times it would be good to do like a little Loom video, then do the demo exactly what you're doing. That also helps a lot. And then the workflows, you can just upload the JSON file.
Okay.
Yep. And then what I'll do is I'll take that once I review it and see that, hey, this is very useful. Then on the classroom section, I'll put it right here. I'm going to change this from community tools projects to community workflows. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna keep adding because there's like 5, 6 that I'm about to add right now. I'm just working on making it like nice and pretty so that way people know like what it is and what it does. But it will be
Right.
all here basically.
Great.
Yep.
Thanks. Thanks for hosting this. It's really great. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining again and looking forward to your contribution.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
everyone, for your time.
All right. Thank you very much.